Today, I'm going to show you how to use your 3D printer to fix up your house. Here, you can see that for whatever reason, the trim or molding or whatever you want to call it is missing from the door frame. We're going to fix it right now. Grab a pen or pencil and paper, press the paper up against the side of the trim, and start tracing it with your pencil. There's two pieces missing, so that's why we're doing two traces at the same time. Also, I'm marking the length of the section that's missing. So from edge to edge, it's about 87 millimeter. The bottom is about 85 millimeter. You also want to use your caliper to measure from this side to that side. Same as the bottom as well, from this to that edge right there. Import your drawing into Photoshop or whatever you want to use to get a PNG file from it. You can see that I'm using the pencil tool to trace that all around and fill it up with black. I'm also using the eraser to clean it up a little bit. It doesn't have to be super perfect, it just has to be good enough. Once you're happy with what you got, export the file as a PNG file. It's important that it's a PNG file with transparency reserve so that it's just the black figure. Once you got the PNG file, now it's time to convert it to SVG file. I'm using this website convertio.co. Choose the PNG file, convert from PNG to SVG. Then click convert. Now download your SVG file and import it into tinkercad.com. It's going to be huge, so downscale it down to 30%. Hit import. Even though at 30% is still huge, so be sure to use your caliper and set the dimension accordingly to the figure that you trace. Now for your first print as a sample, you don't want it to be super thick. Here you can see mine is about 5 millimeter thick, and I'm going to use my 3D printer to print it out as a sample to see if that's a good match or not. I import both of them into Tinkercad so that we can print both of them at the same time as sampling. Now, if you're happy with the samples and it's a good match, then go ahead and extrude it to be longer and then print it out. Once I'm done with the sample, then I print mine much longer, about 87 millimeter for this big trim and 85 millimeter for this bottom trim. You've got all the hard part done. Let's finish it with the easy part. Use wood filler or whatever to fill up all these gaps and all of these holes. For some reason, the big mold did not sit in perfectly flush. That's because for whatever reason, this little piece of wood was sticking out. So I'm using a Dremel and I just cut whatever I have to that was sticking out. Here's another angle of the cut that I made. You can use wood filler, but here you can see that I'm using Bondo to fill up all of those holes and gaps. Bondo is pretty easy to work with. All you have to do is mix a little bit of the gray stuff and then mix a super little stuff of the cream hardener, white stuff. Mix everything together and you have about 10 minutes to work with. Bondo is actually pretty easy to work with, but this is my first time working with it, so I wasn't so sure. I was amazed that it hardened within 10 minutes. So if you want more time, mix in a little bit of the white cream stuff. If you want it to harden super fast, then mix in a lot more of the white stuff. Also, if you make some mistakes with Bondo, don't worry about it. You can easily sand it out. After some sanding and painting, this is the end result. Here you can see some of the Bondo, the gray stuff, showing right through the paint. So I'm going to paint maybe 2 more layers. Hopefully you found this tutorial useful to use your printer on fixing some of the missing trim or damaged trim in your house. I really appreciate you guys subscribing to my channel, and thanks for watching.